never once played in the street. Feel very bitter, get our news off of Twitter, and just can't handle defeat. You saw the surprise, the fear in our eyes when Donald became president. Scream, this can't be true, America's through. To the safe spaces we went. I've got friends in safe spaces. If you don't go with us, then you must be racist. That's our catchphrase. Where's my latte?
We are back and we are live.
Here we are again.
Yeah.
Back in familiar territory.
That's right. Back in the crack house.
No, it's the outhouse.
Outhouse, crack house.
We have to do a show from the crack house. There is another option. We'll get into that later. How you feeling?
I'm okay considering it's almost 2 a.m.
Yeah, on a Friday. And then you've got a busy weekend. I've got a busy weekend.
Yeah, I thought my weekend was busy until I heard what time you're not sleeping until.
I don't even think I'm going to bother. I took a shower so I could feel better, and I'm not real sure if that's what worked or not.
I appreciate you taking a shower.
Oh, I appreciate taking one, too. Where do you want to start? You want to tell us where we're at?
Yeah, so...
Let me try this. How about Libsyn? How about Since Trump at Libsyn? That's the original place. Then on the Twitter, we are Real Since Trump.
Yeah.
At Twitter?
No,
I still hadn't learned how to do that yet. I really need to learn how
Twitter
to do
Twitter is at Real Since Trump.
Okay. I'm going to give it back to you.
And
let you do it.
sincetrump.libsyn.com for the actual website. And it's facebook.com/sincetrump. Email is putoandg@gmail.com. Please, somebody, for God's sake, send him an email.
Oh, please. I can't understand why. I have a brand new iPhone, and my mail has only got like 7 or 8 mails total in it.
That's what you were saying.
But yet it shows that I have used up 1.73 gigabytes, and it has to be somewhere.
Must be all that porn you have downloaded.
Okay. There you go.
See?
All right. Okay. All right. Okay.
I actually got a new phone too. I should be able to use it tomorrow. It came in the mail today. New Motorola G5 Plus.
Is that one of them that explodes or?
No, those are Samsungs.
Oh, Samsungs. That's right. Yeah. I've got a Moto over here, one of these Moto flip phones. I can see it from where I'm sitting here, and that was the best little stupid phone. Yeah, it's an awesome little phone.
Little razors or whatever. They're making them.
Well, no, it was an not industrial. It was a military strength, and I wish I could show it to you because I could see it a second ago.
Oh, the old Nextels.
Yeah.
I loved those.
Oh, these things were indestructible. Yeah. They were wonderful.
I used to burn through those when I worked in the IT world. They'd last about 9 months for me. I couldn't get them to last anymore.
Yeah.
They wouldn't go over about 900 hours of use.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how much freaking time I spent on the phone working for that damn company.
Yeah. I miss that.
About 100 hours.
Sound,
yeah, about 100 hours.
And I kind of miss the flip phone because whenever you'd get pissed off, you just slam that joker with that 2-fingered slam that you do, and it was like everybody knew you was pissed then.
I had this blue one. I don't remember what model it was. I'm almost positive it was Motorola, but it was certainly Nextel. And it had a button on the side, and the clamshell was spring-loaded. It would flip open, like you'd press the button, and it would spring-load open. I love that thing.
Mine was a Samsung Rugby, and here it is here. And it's just so violent the way you could just flip it open, and then you slam it shut, and it sounded like that. And it was awesome. And it's indestructible. I've still got hundreds of pictures on the thing, and it had 0 memory on it. I don't even know how it still works, but it does. You did something to me that gave me some information earlier this week that's real close to home.
They did something to you. Please don't ever say that again.
Here in Habersham County, I'm assuming that you posted the story about the
animal. Me.
Yes.
Twas me.
We're both animal lovers, and
We had 3 bitches.
yeah, yeah.
Dogs, that is, dogs. I call my dogs
Yes.
my bitches.
Right
Anyway,
here.
so Habersham County, 350 animals.
Yeah, and they're of every assortment you could ever think.
Oh,
There's
yeah,
even
yeah,
a
yeah.
llama. There's an alpaca up there. There's cattle. There's goats. There's sheep.
Please don't
There
tell
was
my
200.
better half about this.
I want an alpaca so bad. I would love to have an alpaca or a llama. That would be just like the ultimate snuggling.
They're mean little things.
I love them. Every time I run into them, like in one of these petting zoos, I can't get them off of me. They kind of stick their head over my I love alpacas. And,
You like
and
spitters,
llamas.
do you?
Yeah, I'm guilty of that. But it's such a sad story. I mean, after you posted this, and I was like, well, I guess I better be looking into this. And sure enough, I
Since it's in our
looked up-
backyard.
yeah, literally. But sure enough, 10 miles from here, some jackass, ultimate hoarder, 350 animals, all in just, and it was described as deplorable situation. I know how they feel because
Must have been
it
a
seems
Trump
like I
supporter.
was called a deplorable here
I
recently.
was going to say, it must have
by-
been a Trump supporter.
yeah, I hope not, because this is just so sad. It
People
should-
like that obviously have mental issues, right? I mean,
there has to be, without a doubt. The story hurt me so bad that producer Ann and I, we read the story in the local paper here that they had taken the animals and moved them to the fairgrounds here in Habersham County, and that there was, taking donations, and ASPCA was there, and the Humane Society was there, and that there were volunteer veterinarians coming in from all over to treat these creatures. And producer Ann and I, we got up and we made a donation. It was only $30 and 2 bags of, Sam's Best kibble for cats and dogs or what have you. But I mean, I felt compelled to do that.
yeah.
And we did that, and it felt good.
Oh, absolutely.
And so if there's anybody out there who's listening who could actually help out this situation, it's Northeast Georgia ASPCA.com. It's Humane Society, or
of the-
Northeast.
The U.S., United States.
Yes, they
Humane
came down
Society.
from Washington about this situation.
Yeah.
Now, I did get to walk around. Now, the guys at these volunteer vets got a chance to see these creatures for a couple of days, and they seem to have already done better in that short amount of time. But it was heartbreaking to see what these animals had done
yeah.
to these animals.
That's a good way to put it. That is a good way to put it.
And we just felt compelled. And as it turns out, it was a good place for me to start this Habersham County Commission.
Oh, start your politicking.
Yes.
There you
I
go.
had to do a few handshakes and maybe a few hand jobs, but I got met by some folks who know people.
Shaking babies, kissing hands, whatever you got to do.
Yeah, but it's sad. But honestly, if you can donate anything, Northeast Georgia ASPCA, Northeast Georgia Humane Society, these people are doing the Lord's work. These animals, they really didn't deserve to be in these deplorable conditions. Help them out.
And also, local rescues are signing up to help out as well.
Yeah, you showed me that.
Yeah, one of the rescues that my better half and I
Your
do a lot
smarter
of
half.
fostering. Certainly, my better half. I haven't decided if she wants her name out there in public, given what her career choice.
We don't
is.
want ours out there.
Yeah, yeah, that doesn't stop you sometimes.
So. You either.
And but
as
anyway, she we do a lot of work with Angels Among Us, which is a great pet rescue here that does.
Really?
Yeah. So that's where.
Why don't you hook me up with that group, because there might be something we could do to help that out.
Yeah. So she was on the foster's approval team and things like that, and I've raised a lot of money for them at other places. That
Good for y'all.
Yeah, we've done some.
Good
Some
deal.
good things. So they're great. Angels Among Us.
I don't have a lot of faith in the human condition, but I mean the animal condition. That's a whole different ordeal.
Yes.
That's when I lost faith in humankind. is first of all, I was old enough to remember that Jim Jones issue where the people followed him down to Guyana and drank the Kool-Aid, and you had 968 people who committed suicide along with this religious cult.
Yeah.
And then you follow it up with Marshall Applewhite and the Heaven's Gate group, the 37 relatively intelligent IT people who were waiting on the tail of the comet there behind Halley's Comet. They were going to, meet with a mothership, and they committed suicide wearing Nikes covered in... What a strange... I knew then that humanity was doomed to fail. More recently, it seems like, it's the Arab world that has kind of helped me to lose my faith in humankind. But I sure hope the animals move on after humans have decided that
because animals don't deserve this kind of shit that we do to them. We do horrible, terrible things to animals, unfortunately.
Yeah, rodeo is still something that we're allowed to do, and that's just sickening.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's ridiculous.
I like watching the guys get their asses busted, but I hate the fact that these poor animals have their cods tied up with a leather strap so that they buck these some bitches.
And that's
off.
Exactly why they buck the way it is that rope tied around them. Yeah, it's terrible.
I hate that with a flaming passion.
Yeah.
You want to get back towards the big A town?
Oh man,
we've exploded some more roads apparently.
Yeah, Interstate 20, which runs east to west through the city and through the state, coincidentally,
and all the way to Dallas is as far as I've taken it.
It goes even further than that, but yeah, it goes all the way to Dallas, Texas, and it goes out to.
I know it goes to Darlington, South Carolina,
Columbia,
on this
South
end because
Carolina.
I have to. I'm a race fan. You guys,
yeah, Columbia, I think. Maybe a little further.
But it's a long road, and we blowed a gas line up under the westbound lanes.
And we launched a poor motorcycle rider.
This poor guy,
Wile E. Coyote style.
Never thought about it like that. I mean, I would like to jump a Dodge Charger over it, but I'm sure that if you're on a bike and you're surprised by the ramp that's built in front of you out of asphalt and you're riding a 700-pound Harley, you'd probably not like for this incident to happen.
And if riding a street bike is very different than riding a dirt bike, and
it is.
If you don't know how to handle a jump, or if you're not on a bike that's equipped to handle a jump,
or if the road explodes under you.
That too.
Pretty surprising.
It was.
Then we've got the Fifth Street
in Midtown. They had a sinkhole just appear. Fifth Street, Midtown,
right there at Georgia
Atlanta.
Tech. Mm-hmm. Which is kind of odd because it appears that the Georgia Tech Stadium is the one that the new Atlanta soccer team is going to have to use at the Bobby Dodd Stadium there. Well, apparently all the stadiums around the Georgia or Atlanta area are cursed because you've got the Braves Stadium where I-85 collapsed. Now, those guys are getting that job done up there. A time-lapse video of watching the reconstruction of that disaster.
They've got to shut down Piedmont Monday or Tuesday for a full 24 hours to place... It's section of Piedmont. Completely, both sides, for the full 24 hours to place those beams.
Well, you know what, though? They've routed those folks around there for so long that if they're not used to it by now, then they're not going to be used to it. I'm glad I don't have to deal with it. I work with an individual who has to fight this battle every day from 400. LC, you know him. But he lives in Smyrna, and he has to come through that.
Oh, yeah, he does, doesn't he?
Yeah, and he comes from Smyrna, and he has to fight that every day, and he calls me from the highway, and it's like, look, dude, I am in gridlock. And I usually call him off and I say, look, it's beneficial for you to just stay at home today. I'm not going to count it against you because what am I going to do?
Yeah.
You're cot locked. What am I going to do?
And at least he has a nice car to sit in while he's
this is true. Yes. It doesn't fly yet, but I expect that the BMW is going to learn how to do that eventually.
Yeah.
So, the infrastructure here in Atlanta continues to collapse at a record pace.
Well, it's 85 collapses, 20's like, hey, hold my beer, watch this.
And you've got the
and
sinkhole there.
And then
on-
surface streets are like, hey, I don't want to be left out. I can't collapse completely, but watch this.
Well, the other morning, I'm trying to sleep in one of the rare occasions that I get to do that, and my phone is going off every few minutes because local news stations are telling me that there's been a hazardous fuel spill.
Your fucking cats are killing me tonight.
They've been up for a while. But there's been a hazardous material spill at the downtown connector, which put that under gridlock for hours. They opened it up right at the 7:30 hour, which means that there was already 3 hours worth of backup
Unbelievable.
before they were able to get this container uprighted. Now, this driver was one of the drivers, anybody who's not from the Atlanta area, if you don't have business inside the perimeter, you're not supposed to be there. Well, guess what? This guy's taking the shortcut, dumps his load, locks up the entire downtown connector. So we've got lawsuits flying at a record pace.
Sure.
Everybody wants to sue everybody. It's
Very
not going to
litigious
be
society. It's sad. It's truly sad.
good. Yeah. We had a congressional runoff last Tuesday.
Well, and it depends on what side you listen to. You'd think that, John Ossoff actually won. He didn't.
He had the majority, but again, he had $10 million that the other side didn't
Right,
have.
but he didn't have enough of a majority to get out of a runoff. He didn't win flat out.
Well, no, he didn't put it on lockdown, but I mean, it was close.
It was close.
It was close.
But the only reason it was as close as it was is because they ran 20 freaking Republicans.
Well, this is true. Yeah.
When there's in June when the actual runoff happens, there's
He
only
ended up
going to
with,
be one
what
Republican.
Was it, 49?
48 or 49. It was he's rolling.
But unfortunately, he's going to have to face the woman who you taught me to not give a shit about, old Karen Handel.
Look, she is very good at what she does. She wins.
Well, she's going to have a fight because she's fighting the entire Democratic Party as far as the city of Atlanta's 6th district is concerned.
She also has Donald Trump on her side.
Well,
that's a hell of a place to start.
Ossoff had Pelosi
and all that, but you know what? Do you know why? Listen, have you listened to that man talk? All right, first of all,
yeah, I did.
No one should.
I didn't pay no attention to it because I couldn't understand what the fuck he was saying.
Listen to his cadence, the way he speaks.
It's a lot like mine. He's lost.
No, well, yes, he is lost.
Yes,
but his cadence, his choice of words is just like Obama's. If he wins, oh yes, he sounds
very slick.
He sounds just like the way his words flow and all that stuff. The way he pronounces words sounds just like Obama. He is being cherry picked and groomed. I'm telling you, if he wins this, they will run him.
Oh, we're going that way.
I'm putting it on record on April 22nd, 2017.
Okay.
If this sorry son of a bitch, who by the way doesn't even live in the fucking district in which he's running for, if he wins, they will run his ass. They may not run him in 2020.
So what we're going to see is a real nice speech,
Kennedy-esque. Because he's only 30 years old, right?
Okay.
So he's got to be 35, so he's 2024 material.
Gotcha.
Right?
Oh, he's got a long career ahead of him.
And this is his
corruption and
this is his very first. This is his very first job in politics. Now he was as
young as he is, it may be his very first job.
Well, he's got an impressive resume as far as like colleges and stuff like that go.
Okay.
He
are his records available?
Oh yeah,
to the public.
Yeah.
Well, I know that Trump hasn't disclosed his tax records yet, but I still haven't seen anywhere where Obama has went to college. Nobody remembers him.
He did as a foreign student.
Well, so his records and his transcripts are on lockdown because he's foreign?
Oh yeah.
Or because he's fake?
Well, combination.
Well, yeah, I can't argue with that.
Yeah. But yeah, no, this guy has a master's degree. He's a very smart guy. Went to
so is Gorsuch, and they shit all over him.
Yeah, but he still got confirmed.
Well,
shit all you want, he still got confirmed.
but coming up in the future is going to be payback because the 51% is going to come back. It came back with the Democrats during
no, what that nuclear thing that they were talking about?
yes.
They're done. They can't use that again. That was their one and only shot.
Really?
That's it.
Well, you know, I read earlier this week that the whoever the director of the House and Ways and Means, I know he's from Texas. Seems like his name is Miller.
I don't know.
He made a statement earlier that there's going to be a retirement from the Supreme Court again this summer, and if the Democrats were pissed that they used a nuclear option then, that all hell's going to break loose in summer.
Yeah, because
It's coming again.
well,
We could actually lose 4.
I expect 4.
Really?
Yeah, I expect 4.
In the next 4 years? You don't think that some of these decrepit old crows might try to just live it out
Nope.
in order to not have to face this again?
What do they care?
You know, there's something to that. You could be right.
What do they care?
Right. There could be something to
Full
that.
pensions,
Full yeah.
$200,000 a
Yeah.
year.
Yeah. Okay.
And
All right. It's going to be
seriously,
interesting.
They're 100 years old.
That's very true.
You know, not that they worked much to begin with.
And Ginsburg is already showing signs of Alzheimer's, if not Parkinson's, because she cannot sit still and complete a sentence. And she's almost got that cracky voice like an old-timey country singer would have when they've reached past their prime.
oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Right?
Yeah.
She's already got that underlying cracking that happens that, I mean, you can feel. It's a strange sound, but when you hear it, I was at a Ronnie Millsap concert, unfortunately, and I love the guy, love his music, I appreciate everything he's done, but once he's reached his prime, dude, get off the bus and relax,
Right.
Because that cracking, that underlying feeling of age has hit that point, and he's there. And it's sad, and she needs to step down. I wouldn't want her to stay in position simply out of spite. But I expect it because this is just how it seems like that side of the aisle works. You know, they outlive their prime. Another reason for term limits. And I'm not so sure that it's not time to we can't even get term limits for Congress or Senate. And how in the hell are we ever going to get it for the Supreme Court?
You know, I don't think the Supreme Court needs term limits, actually.
You like it the way I'm not upset with it. I'm just saying if we're going to move in that direction, why in the fuck should we not just have everybody serve a term and then go home?
Well, I don't think term limits are appropriate for the Supreme Court because, think about it, if the Supreme Court had, let's just say, every 12 years.
Okay.
They had 6-year terms, 2 terms, like senators. They had 12 years.
Well, no, I'm not asking them to be re-elected again. But,
No.
15, whatever they decide.
No, not elected, appointed. But you can only be appointed for 12 years.
Okay.
Whatever it is. I'm just
Fine.
making up numbers.
Okay, yeah, gotcha.
So you can only be appointed for 12 years.
Okay.
All right. So we want to get this thing turned over. Well, there's no chance in hell right now.
Mm-hmm.
And with the current bench, we want to get this turned over. Well, 4 people are going to have to die for a chance of this to be turned over.
Or murdered. Sometimes that happens.
So now if you have term limits in place, whatever that term is, 10, 12, 15, 20 years,
Okay.
now you're revisiting the same issue in the hopes that the new people that were confirmed by a different leaning president
Sure.
has the option to make these changes.
Well, what you're doing now is you're giving them the option to retire at their own pace. I'm sure that a whole lot of these folks who are ready to retire because of the age and when they were appointed during the Clinton era, they're long past ready, and they thought there would be another Clinton there so they could replace them with another Clintonite. No?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I think they're given the limited. I think first of all, you got to love what you do, right? At that level,
Yeah.
At that level,
yeah, you
right?
would have to.
So you got to love what you do. You got to be a little egotistical. You got to have a little bit of a power
Yeah.
appetite.
And you like to dress like
Right.
you like to wear robes.
Sure. Why not? You
Well,
know?
that's what I'm wearing as we speak.
It's yeah.
I just
you're
got out of the
lucky this
shower
is-
and I'm
You're
in
lucky
my
this
robe.
is audio only, folks. I promise.
correct. I do have swingage as you know, so.
And shrinkage.
That would require that there would be length at the beginning.
Oh, TMI for our tens and tens of listeners. TMI. But no, anyway. So yeah, I just think that these people, they don't work a lot to begin with. They get to pick the cases that they want.
Yeah, that's
And,
true. I forget.
I
some
mean,
of these points.
you get a couple
You're probably
$100,000 a
right.
year.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm right.
Of course, you're right. That's what you do. All right, are we still in Atlanta? Or we moved to Federal, or let's go back to Atlanta just for a little bit. We had the Falcons' new stadium, Mercedes-Benz Stadium.
Yeah.
We're at least 6 months behind on this.
Well, that damn roof, that tricky roof.
Have you seen the design of this as you fly over it with a helicopter? It's painted out white on the outside, red on the inside, and as it opens and closes, it looks very much like some parts of the female anatomy. It's very weird.
I have not
dude.
seen this.
You really need to see what the ultimate design looks like, because from space it does look like we dropped a giant vagina north of Atlanta. And this is it may be a good thing, but in the current state of how guys are, they won't ever notice. I noticed, but
I haven't seen
I'm
it.
old
I'll
school,
look it up.
so
I'll look it up.
yeah, you need to see this. It's got some creepiness to it. Let's see, had a shooting, or 2 or 12 or 20.
Depends on who's keeping track. Where's the shooter?
Let's see, Fresno, California.
Fresno.
Fresno, a gentleman named Corey
Northern
Ali
California?
Mahad, yes, Muhammad,
Muhammad.
yes, Corey Ali Muhammad. He's in custody right now. He wasn't brave enough to strap on a belt and blow himself up. He just walked down the street. He went 3 blocks, executed 3 white men because of his hatred.
Oh, this guy.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. The location of the name didn't strike me.
Yeah, well, it's
Hey,
California, and,
well,
and nothing surprises me coming.
Let's
from
not give
there.
this piece of shit any more airtime than he's
There you
already
go.
gotten. What about the Facebook killer?
Well, that's an interesting case. Executed a guy from his own neighborhood.
I know, and out of fucking nowhere, Facebook Live streamed.
Claims that he had 13 bodies.
Yeah,
in
it's
front of-
bullshit. He was talking
I'm
shit.
with you.
He's talking shit.
He looks a lot like Suge Knight.
He does, doesn't he?
Yeah.
But anytime you've got somebody with the same name twice.
Steven Stevens?
My
Yeah.
high school principal was
Uh-huh.
named Mike Michaels.
I had a feeling you were about to say that.
High school principal was named
Or
Mike
it'd be like
Michaels.
John Johnson or whatever. That's odd.
Or Robert Robertson.
Yeah. Okay. You know what was interesting about that? I mean, it was so sad because the victim in this case, he absolutely deserved it. Donut. The dude's just walking through life. It's Easter. He's collecting cans. He's just
Cleaning
doing
up
what
the
he
neighborhood.
can. Yeah, just cleaning up the neighborhood. The guy walks up to him and he says in the video, "I'm just gonna kill this nigga," and he just gets out of the car and says, "Say Joy Lane. Say Joy Lane." And I'm thinking it's the name of a road. I'm thinking that there's actually a legitimate reason why he's having this gentleman say this.
Ex-girlfriend or ex-wife or
Yes,
whatever.
it's his girlfriend's name who dumped him. And he executes him live. Much like the 4 guys who took during the run-up to the election that kidnapped that kid,
I
the
don't even want to
handicapped
talk
kid.
about that thing.
Facebook Live is a complete and total failure. Zuckerberg, you need to change this. Turn this off. I'm almost done with Facebook except for one thing. I still believe this podcast could do some good and we need the advertisement. Other than that, I really don't care about it anymore.
Yeah.
This live feed and some of the trash that's put out there. I watched a video earlier this week that was a beating of a woman in Brazil. They beat her with a log. Dude, you don't want to see it. You don't want to hear it.
No.
The sound of this woman being beaten to death is just nauseating. It's posted on Facebook, and for whatever reason, I catch this stuff as it's happening, and I don't want to catch it anymore. I'm sick of it.
Well, there was another app, and I guess the app still exists. Another service called Periscope, and
Periscope,
and that was a live streaming app.
Yes,
And I'm not sure, chicken or egg kind of thing, whether Facebook had it first or Periscope had it first.
I think Periscope was first.
That's what I thought too. But why don't you make that a destination thing like Periscope, where you intend, like Instagram. Instagram is nothing but pictures, right? I don't
Yes.
personally have an Instagram.
I don't either.
The company, since Trump does not have an Instagram.
Okay.
Not to say we never will, but we don't at the moment, right? But
Who would want to see us?
well, all it is pictures.
Right.
So unless we're putting up funny memes and shit like that,
Yeah, now that I enjoy.
and, right, and we could do stuff.
That's
like
my
that.
favorite part of Facebook.
Is
honestly.
the memes. Oh
Yes.
yeah, no, me too. But if you're not doing those types of things with it, you only go there to look at pictures. There's no words other than what's written on a picture, maybe.
Sure,
right?
yes.
But there's no stories or anything like that. So it makes it a destination location.
Okay. Understood.
So I guess that's what I'm going back to the Facebook Live thing with, is turn that shit off. If people want to live stream shit, that's what you got Periscope for. It's a destination location.
Yes.
All it does is this.
Is there like an age limit? Is there any limits at all to
I
it?
mean-
Because what I understood is that you could set up a Periscope account and look at the look inside the dorm rooms of certain college or sorority rooms and just watch their life as it's being live streamed on Periscope. If you're into that voyeurism thing, then so be it. You're fine. But it should be a pay site where you get to pay to watch the sorority sisters as they have their pillow fights and
Sounds like
watching
fun.
yeah, I got 50 cent. But I mean, I don't know why I happen to be looking at the right time, and I get these feeds and I see this shit happening live.
Yeah.
And then here I am, a news junkie. And then this show has actually drawn me more into it because once it happens, it's like I must speak about this, which means I must investigate it because you and I need to have this conversation.
Right.
Because it has an effect on me. I'm beginning to start to lose sleep over this whole show. I'll be honest with you, because I'm seeing shit that I really don't want to investigate anymore. I see it. I should move on. But hey,
We owe
people
it to
out there
our,
need to know.
we owe it to our listeners.
Yeah, we owe it to them.
Yeah.
And if I end up being crazy or what have you, so be it.
Crazy.
Right. But I mean, do you know how our Facebook shooter got caught?
So he goes to McDonald's, gets him a 20-piece and some fries,
Yeah.
and they recognize him at the first or second window. I'm not really sure which.
They recognized a car first.
They recognize
2016 Ford
Fusion, a white Fusion.
Yeah, good looking car.
It is a very good looking car, modeled after the Aston Martin when Ford owned them, but it's not. Anyway, so they recognize him. They tell him, "Oh, we're just cooking your fresh fries. Go ahead and pull up here." And somebody's already calling 911. So Pennsylvania State Police come rolling in hot. He sees them. He takes off. They get what, a mile?
It was about 2 blocks.
A couple,
is the way I
couple
understand
blocks,
it.
couple miles, whatever it was. It's a short chase.
They attempt a pit maneuver on him. They kind of miss on the pit.
Pit's tough, man. They make it look easy. It's not.
I see it in NASCAR all the time. It's not hard.
It's not hard when you're going 200 mile an hour.
Correct. Oh, I see what you're saying. But yeah, they spin this guy around. They slow him down. And in the time that it takes for them to recuperate from the failed attempt at the pit, he realizes that he's surrounded. And he pops one in his own brain.
Yeah.
Now, there's a good and a bad side to that.
Saving the taxpayers' money.
Yes, but he doesn't get the option of being booed and hated in public the way that,
Oh, I never wanted that.
really?
I always expected that we would see they would release the body cam footage of him getting fucking wasted the way he wasted that poor old man.
Well, you know,
I was looking forward to that. I would have paid pay-per-view
I see so
to
much.
see that.
What I want to see is Timothy McVeigh. I like the perp walk with the bulletproof vest on and him being booed straight down and having to carry the sounds of these people booing him into the core of the planet.
Speaking of Pennsylvania, Eric Frayne, who murdered the state police since almost 2 years ago now.
You'll have to take this one. I have no clue.
We've talked about this. This is back where I grew up.
Oh yeah, okay.
The guy that was on the manhunt for like 48 days
Yes,
and all
yes,
that kind
yes,
of stuff.
yes. Okay.
He sniped the state trooper.
Yes.
He had his trial this week.
Okay. Good.
Convicted on all accounts.
Okay.
And then they had sentenced him to death. The problem with that
Okay.
is Pennsylvania's had a moratorium on the death penalty for, I don't know, as many years as I've been alive.
Did you hear what Gorich's first Supreme Court case was?
No.
It was the death
Yes and
penalty. Apparently, Arkansas has had a stoppage of the death penalty, and they've got 277 individuals
Oh,
on
man,
death
it's
row.
time to fire up that express lane.
Yeah, it's time to move them to Texas and let them handle the shit.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh, I remember a couple weeks ago, because my better half's smarter half.
Yes.
Better, smarter, prettier.
Yeah.
I mean,
all of it.
yeah, all of the above. Her father lives in Arkansas, and they're lifting the moratorium on the death penalty.
You know, the Clintons are the ones who clamped down on it
Of course they are.
because a lot of their buddies are right there on that road.
On that death row. That doesn't surprise me in the least.
Okay, now finish your story.
And anyway, I saw an article posted that they can't start their death penalty proceedings. They can't start executions because they don't have enough witnesses that are willing to sit and watch it happen. You have to have X number of witnesses every time.
Okay, so if you're a paid expert in some kind of criminal field, and you can travel around the country saying yes that this evidence points that this guy is this, and that means that these basically a paid witness, I would do this. I already see so much sick shit now.
Oh, I
would
totally
travel
watch.
around the country.
Well, you can
being
sign
a paid witness.
You don't know. You can. You're not getting paid for it.
I should. I got to sit here and watch these people die.
You can volunteer for it, but you can do that here in Georgia. You can sign up to be a witness to executions here in Georgia.
Is that right? I would much rather go around the country and study these cases and find out what these dirtbags did and then watch them breathe their last breath.
But he and
Actually, I wish I could afford to do it on my own dime
right, so you start here in Georgia.
so that I'm not an expert. I just get to see it happen.
Right, so you start here in Georgia. But yeah, he and I joked about it. I sent him the article, and I was like, "Road trip?" And he's like, "I'll buy lunch."
I like it. Okay.
Yeah, you know.
I remember
and-
a couple of years ago, it was 3 or 4 years ago now, we had the guy who was on the Georgia death row. Now, I used to live down in Jackson, Georgia.
You've told me this story.
And we had a incident where we had a gentleman who had executed a police officer from a Wendy's drive-through down in Savannah. And the gentleman, perpetrator, whatever you want to call him, it was his time, and I had been watching live feeds all day, and they kept delay. Well, and this is a true story, dude. I got off work at about 11:33, and it's a 20-minute drive between where I was at and where the correction center in Jackson, Georgia is. I got off the exit there, and they don't call it correction center. They call it. I wish I could remember now.
Detention center?
No, well, no, it's a elaborate deal. But this is where the Georgia people are put to death. Well, you get off the exit there, and there was so much controversy because of the intelligence level of the perpetrator in this police killing. There were state patrol cars. There were cars from every county in the state of Georgia, from the Locust Grove exit to the Jackson exit. On both sides, up and down each lane, there were helicopters. On one side of the road, across the street from the detention center, was the group of anti-death penalty. Across the street, there had already been scuffles during the day of the pro-death penalty people, and that the state patrol had to break these scuffles up in the middle of Highway 36 2 or 3 times during the course of the day.
Well, I say line them up. I'll flick the switch.
Let me tell you what I did. This is honest to God truth. I got home in time to where I had a designated driver, my best buddy down on the south side, He's driving a truck. I jump out of the car. He's like, what are you whatever. Meet me at the truck stop. I walk up the pro-death side, and this is true now. I swear to God, this is true. I walk up the pro-death side where all the cops are at, and that's also where all the news feeds were at. CNN, Fox News, everybody was there. All the local news. And I snuck up behind a state patrol, scared the shit out of him. I know I did. And I realized then that I had done fucked up. He says, dude, you need to get the fuck out of here. So they escorted me across. Well, the helicopter that's hovering overhead is shining his light, say, north-south.
Okay.
And then the road runs north-south. Well, he's lighting up certain areas. Well, they stopped traffic to let me over because I said, well, my truck is sitting over here at the truck stop.
Okay.
I come face to face with, oh, don't fail me now. It's not Jesse Jackson. It's the... Sharpton. I
punched that son of a bitch in his mouth.
We came face to face. I shit you not. I'm within 7 inches of him and his entourage. And we look at each other, and I guess I kind of...
What'd he say?
Back nothing.
Cracker?
No, nothing. He said nothing. None of his entourage, none of his bodyguards said anything. But there was a ditch there. They were standing at the edge of a ditch, which is the entrance of this truck stop.
Should have pushed them.
I did the right thing. There was 30 of them, and just little old pale blue me. And so I walked around, and then I met it with my driver. And it was really intense. You know, you could tell that there was a fight ready to break out at any time.
Sure.
The interesting thing was, when I got back in my vehicle and me and my buddy were headed back toward the house, we come down 36. We're listening to the local news feed, WSB TV, as it turns out, or radio, I should say. As we come back down 36, we get right behind the ambulance that is carrying this gentleman's body away to the hospital. Then I turn myself off towards the house at High Falls Road, and the ambulance continues on. And that's when the announcement came over the radio that the execution had taken place 11:59 and 22 seconds on the date that he was sentenced to.
Yeah.
And the whole thing just ended. It ended right then.
Huh.
He was dead. There was nothing else to stand there for. And we heard that feed, turned around, and by the time we got back up there, all you could see was headlights and taillights as everybody was saying, hey, we lost it. We're going
Fuck
home.
it, we're done.
We're done. We're absolutely done. But that was intense, Dave. I come face to face with Sharpton, and it's hard. You sit there, and I'll be honest with you. When you see somebody like that, and you've seen them all your life, and you know that they're powerful people, it's real easy to cower down and say, damn, dude, I wish I wasn't here.
Oh, yeah, they're larger than life.
Yes,
right?
they are.
Yeah, no,
there's
I believe
there's a vibe that comes off of them and their entourage that says, I wish I was somewhere else. It's similar to the same feeling I got when I run into that first state patrol cop, and I scared the shit out of him, and he's like, dude, get the fuck out of here.
That's funny.
But that absolutely happened.
I believe you. Yeah, let's,
Where are we at as far as time goes? Berkeley. We had another one of those run-ins at the college there.
Are you talking about that chick that got her mouth freaking rearranged?
Yeah.
She kind of deserved it, right? Like,
Well, she did have a weapon in her lower hand. She had a bottle with an M80 in it.
I'm not suggesting
Punching a bitch in the face.
punching a bitch in the face. I'm not promoting violence
But
against
she went
women.
there
Or
with the
violence in
intent
general.
of being punched in the fucking face.
Well, she got what she asked for. You know, we've talked about me working security at clubs and stuff like that in the past.
Yes, sir.
And I'll never forget that you just said with the intention of getting punched in the face. We had this brawl out in the middle of it's right by the sinkhole, actually, right on the on 6th and Juniper, right out behind
nice.
the old back streets down there. I don't know if you remember Backstreet's bar in
The bar.
Yeah.
Oh, the bar. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah. I was thinking Backstreet Boys, or I got fucking. I went back into my history a little bit. Okay.
No.
The gay bar down there where you was hanging out as a bouncer. I got you. Okay.
And so anyway, so we get in this fight with a bunch of guys, and they leave, and we're walking back inside, and they come running back 30 seconds later. And one of this little, he's Hispanic, but he was refrigerator shaped, short, but really, really big and wide.
Hispanic.
Yes.
And, built like a refrigerator. Gotcha.
Yeah, he looked like a small refrigerator.
Fire plug.
Like a little 20 cube refrigerator.
Sure, you gotcha.
You know,
Yes.
not the one, not quite that big.
Not Aaron Hernandez.
No, we'll get to him in a second. So he comes running up, and he rips his shirt off. He had a button-down shirt. He rips his shirt off. He's like, hit me! So my buddy Jay, fair enough, he got a big old 4D mag light, cracks him right
No shit.
straight down the bridge of his nose, busts his nose, splits his head open.
Okay.
He falls like a sack of fucking potatoes.
Just asked to be hit.
Yeah.
And when he gets what he asked for, he just goes to sleep.
Yeah, boom, down. And
Looks like a sedative.
yeah, it's certainly what it was.
Okay.
And one of the other kids all of a sudden has a book bag, and he's reaching in the book bag. So one of the managers, who's from, is he from Lebanon? Maybe, I don't know. I think he's
those
Lebanese.
are tough
You
bastards.
know, he's a scrawny, he's a little scruffy little bastard.
Yeah,
but,
they're tough.
Bernard, he takes his belt off, and he is whipping like
The same dude?
No, the different dude. Like another dude starts reaching in like a backpack or something like that.
Gotcha.
And before any of us could get to him, he takes his belt off and starts whipping and beating the shit out.
Yes, absolutely.
It just reminded me of, this dumb chick looking for a fight.
Well,
and
check
getting
out
more
what
than she
happens in
bargained for.
Berkeley. I watched this video. There's a gentleman who walks up to
The blue shirt, right?
No, not the knockout. We all know about the knockout. That bitch got fucking KO'd. That's all there is to it.
Yeah.
Just outside of that fight, or all the fights actually, the Berkeley Police Department is on order to stand down. A college journalist who has, from what I can tell, he doesn't lean left or right. He just wants to tell the story. He walks
the story
up.
is what the story is.
Yes.
Okay.
He takes his camera, he takes his microphone, he asks a police officer who's standing there in the door of his car. We've got one sitting in the car, we've got one standing outside. He asks him, he says, why are you not stopping the violence that's happening just a block and a half away from where you're standing? And the officer politely says, well, you need to speak to our media official about the question that you're asking.
All right. I can't answer it. Okay.
Right. So then he asked, I hope I get this right. He says, well, is it or is it not your job to stop the violence in the streets here at the University of California, Berkeley?
Uh-huh.
And the the same gentleman, the same cop says, well, you'll have to get with our watch commander about that. And the guy, and so the reporter guy, he says, well, what? There's people being beaten. There's violence. There's fights breaking out within earshot of where you're standing.
Right.
And the officer answers with, yeah, and?
Oh.
I shit you not, dude. I was fuming.
And?
I was goddamn fuming. I was pissed.
As you should be.
Now, Auburn University, Alabama. This same Antifada. I'm not real sure how do you Antifa? I don't know who this this group's name. What do they call themselves?
I don't know. I've seen it, but I would assume it's Antifa.
I don't know. Antifa. Okay, let's go with that. We'll go with Antifa.
Okay.
I'm thinking it's anti-fascist. It's some short way of saying that.
It probably is.
So I'm going to say anti-fascist. Whatever. Who cares?
All right.
They tried this same bullshit down in Auburn, Alabama. They've got a speaker they're going to protest there before they're allowed to reach the campus. And God bless you, Auburn, Alabama. Show this some bitches that South is the whole different ordeal. They made them take their damn weapons and take them away, and they took them goddamn mask off, and they said, once you take that shit off, you can enter your demonstration. But before that, you're not getting in. And they treated them like children.
And
now,
they are
this
children.
They are children.
I know.
They're being dressed by their mom and they're saying, "Please, Mom, hurry up and put my clothes on. I've got to go fight fascists."
Well, it is actually against the law to wear a
God
mask.
bless the South.
It's against the law to wear a mask during the commission of a crime.
They look so much like ISIS, dude.
I feel about that. Fucking, it's worth the investment in lead for that one.
They are so.
Put a fucking bullet in them.
Well, you know what's going to end up happening in this case? I don't know if you're young enough or old enough to remember Kent State, where, the Vietnam War protesters ended up being shot by our National Guard. And that's not a good deal either. But Kent State, Ohio, we had this happen in 68. And where our government is firing on our own students. And I don't want to see that happen.
No.
I absolutely do not want to see that happen. But I do. You feel it. You feel it in the fucking air. You feel it in the news. You feel the hatred.
The tension.
And then you add on top of that, you got Kim Jong-un, who's over there being smothered in fucking armadas of
he needs to be
fighters and freighters, and Japan has joined us, and Russia has put 200,000 troops on their border, and China has put 600,000 troops on their border, and it don't look like they're there to invade.
No.
Right?
You're right.
It does look like it's U.S., Japan, I don't know who else, and Russia and China. And unfortunately, this past couple of administrations, and Bush, you're in this too, you sent our jobs away. You've given China enough money to where they have not only the population to hurt us, but they also have the finances to do it. So, yeah. Japan, I certainly appreciate the Japanese people backing us up, but they're sending the fleet. They're right there with the Carl Vinson, and they're all floating toward the Korean Peninsula right now as we speak, steaming that bitch full speed ahead. Now,
Good.
What's going to happen next? There's a whole lot of predictions out there. There's folks out there who are playing like lottery numbers, who are given the date to where the first shot's fired. And it's not going to go well for nobody. It's not. I don't know what Kim Jong-un has. I know where he got it from. He got it from China. He got it from Russia. You've got Europe who's in flames and Turkey pulling the strings.
But, Pence was there earlier this week. He was in South Korea.
He was rattling the cage.
He was right there at the DMZ.
Well, he ain't scared.
No, obviously not. But what, symbolic. I mean, think about that.
Well, look at what's happening in Alaska. The Russians are flying their bombers right there. They want to be reminded that they're still there.
That's the closest they've flown since Trump's presidency, from what I understand.
This is hot, dude.
And
this is hot.
Yeah, apparently we scrambled some of our jets, and
we chased them out
for what, 12 minutes or something like that.
Yeah, but they're 700 miles off of the border, but they want us to be reminded that they're there, that Russia's still there. They're 700 miles off of the U.S. coast in international waters, but this is new shit. And then on top of that, over the last month, they've also been sending them about 700 miles just off the coast of Japan. So somebody's instigating some shit. Somebody needs some attention. Somebody needs a blowjob. Somebody's not getting their fill of some kind of attention that mama needed to give them when they were younger. And it's us little people who are left to pick up the pieces.
Yeah.
Because if you look at the maps that show where these missiles could land, where they are going to land, what have you, all these doomsday scenarios,
right?
All that's going to be left is the crocodiles and cockroaches. This is not a good situation we find ourselves in. We're as close to let's just back up. World War III was a Cold War. This is going to be World War V.
Okay.
Actually,
Right, because you could say Desert Storm was the
desert. Yes.
of that whole.
The whole Middle Eastern start,
So
and they're winning that. Let me tell you what happened in Sweden just this morning. The infiltrators, the Muslim infiltrators in Sweden. We have a gentleman who's a 29-year-old ADD, attention deficit disorder idiot.
ADD?
Yes. Idiot who was anally raping a 14-year-old Swedish child who, as she's screaming at him, no, 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 he's going to not be charged in the Swedish courts because he doesn't understand the terminology, what no means.
but
Sweden is lost.
part of ADD or ADHD is impulse control.
That's what I was trying to say. ADHD. You're right.
Well, there's two. There's ADD and ADHD, but
ADHD.
part of that is impulse control. It's not exclusively impulse control, but that is some of it. So I'm not saying it's
excuse
justified.
that his lawyer is using is that he doesn't understand no because he's from the Middle East. He doesn't know what no means. No, don't rape a 14-year-old child in the ass.
Oh.
And
I misunderstood. Yeah.
this is going to be his defense.
Yeah.
And as a matter of fact, he was acquitted of it today. The Swedish courts, they're done. They've been bought. They've been sold. They've given up. Holland, same way.
Yeah.
Norway, same way.
Well, they get what they got coming then. Like, what do you do? You know?
Hey, we got an election coming in France, and
I know.
it could be the damn.
I hope so.
And it's Sunday.
Oh, they had some shit happen this morning.
Oh, they had a shooting.
A shooting.
No, it was not today. It was yesterday. But they had 1 million people hit the streets in support of the French police because
Wow.
1 million people hit in support of the police. I wish we could get that here. I
Yeah.
wish we could get any support
Back
for the
the blue,
police
people.
in this country.
Back the blue. Just a quick little segment back to your 2 Russian bombers that
Yes.
they passed over. Our brothers from the north helped us out there. We sent 2 of our F-22 Raptors.
I like Raptors.
Oh, yeah.
They look sinister.
Yeah, and these old fucking Tu-95 bombers,
Right.
with fucking propellers and shit like that.
I'm with you there.
Yeah, I would have blown them sons of bitches straight out the sky. But the
Somebody's
Royal
looking for
Canadian-
attention.
The Royal Canadian Air Force also sent some of their F-18 Hornets to join
Good
us.
for you, Canada. Thank you.
Yeah,
we
appreciate
appreciate that.
And then Wednesday they had maritime patrol aircraft flying up the Aleutian Islands,
Okay.
which is a little too close for my comfort.
I tend to agree.
Yeah, there's
Deadliest Catch may be canceled if we wipe that island off.
yeah, maybe they should do a live one and watch them get bombed or something.
Did you see, speaking of Discovery Channel, did you see Chuck take down
Oh yeah,
Doc? That
oh my
was
God, that was
awesome.
awesome. That was awesome. I was very excited about
The El
that.
Camino took Doc down.
You mean the Death Trap?
Well, the Death Trap is number 1. I'm talking about the El Camino. Kamikaze
Oh,
Chris
Kamikaze,
actually beat
he took
Doc.
Doc. That's right. I remember that.
Oh, I love good
And then,
TV.
and then Chuck.
This
Chuck,
is drag racing, folks. This is just between us. Y'all don't have to pay attention to
Street
this.
Outlaws.
Yes, this is just good drama.
What-
We're race fans and
we are.
animal fans and don't have a whole lot of use for
We
humans.
don't. Except for the ones that listen to our podcast.
Yeah,
We love you.
they're all, both of you.
All 2 of you.
Yes.
We love you all.
Yeah. And this is still fun.
Puto's family is all the people that listen to this podcast. But that's,
Well, there's some folks in Pennsylvania, from what I understand.
yeah, I got
You don't have any friends here, as I understand it. They're all up north. Evidently, you've sullied your reputation here.
most people down here aren't worth being friends with.
Wow, there's something to be said about that.
And it's not an exclusive, but it's a good general statement. All right, so we're getting close to running out of time here. What have we missed? Because we can go on and on and on. You want to talk about your boy?
How about Bill O'Reilly? How about Bill O'Reilly being fired for being a pervert, along with his boss, Roger Ailes? Let me tell you what I suspect is about to happen at Fox News. Fox News was used to be fair and balanced because all the other news sources were, let's say, middle to left leaning. Well, Roger Ailes' son is about to take over Fox News because Roger is about to have so much heat on him that he's going to have to step aside. Roger Ailes' son is the generation before the millennials. I'm assuming that's Generation X, which means that he leans left too. Sean Hannity is going to be in trouble. Fox and Friends is going to be in trouble.
Oh no, Sean Hannity's only making $25 million a year for the last 10 years.
Well,
How
he
will
can afford
survive?
to create his own station if he wants to, along with Rush Limbaugh, along with Bill O'Reilly, along with maybe Beck, maybe Savage. Some of these guys who are far, I know how you feel. I got you. But there are some folks, I mean, but
Unlike you, I don't like the wiener.
I haven't paid much attention to him. I do like his writing. His writing is very creative.
I'm just glad he's not on the air anymore here in Atlanta.
But, I mean, kind of like I predicted about 2 weeks ago, the collapse of Fox News, and it's about to happen. I use it as my sedative. When I go to sleep at night, I turn it on Fox News because that monotone really puts me to sleep. It's probably the only thing that makes me unwind. Where are we at on time here? I know we need to wrap this up, but I got a couple more things. Lois Lerner, the whole IRS thing is about to blow wide ass open again. Trump is not Trump, but Mr. Obama is closely tied to this. Lois Lerner and the IRS, you guys are in trouble because there is going to be a tax realignment.
Oh yeah, he was at Trump was at Treasury today signing executive orders,
Right,
knocking shit out, taking
folks,
down the Dodd-Frank Act.
Yes,
some other things.
Yes, that was a disaster.
It was.
Anybody who didn't see that as a ripoff is they wasn't paying attention. Lois Lerner, you and your out of style haircut, and you do look like a lady who would have been a librarian except you couldn't read. You're about to go down, and if what I have read and what you did coincide in any way, Mr. Obama, you're best off to stay on that yacht in the French Isles and just stay there because you're protected.
Agreed.
Just stay there. You and your man boy, Michelle, y'all just stay where you're at and you'll be protected. I have a feeling that's why you're there now, because you knew this house of cards was coming down once Hillary lost. Oh, and by the way, Hillary, I've read that the Clinton dynasty is over.
No, they're going to run Chelsea.
No, Chelsea has already said she has no interest in being in politics, and I don't know why she would, because she's already got a golden parachute. Oh, and by the way, Bill O'Reilly, you got a golden parachute too, bitch. Get the fuck off the TV. You're a pervert. You're a sick son of a bitch. Roger Ailes, you're even worse. I hate it. I appreciated the fact that there was something that was called fair and balanced, but behind the scenes was the old sick white bitch sex slave industry. And if you don't believe it, by God, read about Roger Ailes. He's a pervert. And I'll just leave it at that. Are you ready to sign us out?
Wait, you got...
Dude, there ain't no sense in me getting started on this shit because Fox News has really disappointed me.
I'm not talking about Fox News.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about your boy, your Patriot.
Oh, yes, Aaron Hernandez. Give me just a second. Can you fill in some fluff for just a second while let me read this word for word because this was awesome. I'm a Patriot fan. I really did want the Atlanta Falcons to win the Super Bowl because I am an Atlanta boy, okay? But here is the latest. Aaron Hernandez is a wide receiver from the Miami area. He played for the Miami Hurricanes. And thank you for covering for me while I figured it. You've been a big help so far. Thank you. Anything I can do to ignore you from here on out, please. Don't ask me for nothing. His suicide was a strange thing.
Oh, God, here comes the conspiracy.
No,
Blah,
let me
blah,
tell you.
blah.
Hold on. I'm going to read this because I'm not even going to try to remember it.
Wait, let me stop.
In
here.
his cell,
Okay.
investigators found 3 handwritten notes in Aaron Hernandez's cell next to a Bible that was open to John 3:16. One of the notes,
Austin 3:16, but okay.
okay, yeah, everybody seems to say that. It's the same thing. One of the notes was to his fiancée, Shania Jenkins Hernandez, who was seen leaving her mother's Connecticut home Tuesday. Listen to this. The second note was to his 4-year-old daughter, Avelle. The third letter was written to the former football star's gay prison lover.
What?
The unidentified man is currently under eyeball-to-eyeball suicide watch. 3 suicide letters. One to a fiancé, one to his daughter, one to his gay lover. The gay lover connection, let's back up just a little bit. How much time have I got? Miami, University of Miami, Hurricanes. Now, this is a outstanding wide receiver.
Yeah. Wait, I thought he.
I'm sorry, he was tight end.
I thought he. Well,
But he moved like a wide receiver. The guy was super talented.
how much of a tight end was he after his time in prison? There.
Maybe his gay lover had a loose end. He might have
Goes
still
in as
had
a tight end, comes out as a wind
I think
chime.
you have to give a little bit to get a little bit, in those situations.
Either way, catch and throwing still makes you gay.
Yeah, either you suck dick or you do not, is the way Andrew Dice Clay says it.
Yeah. Love some Andrew Dice Clay.
But
Poor guy goes into prison as a tight end, comes out as a wind chime. I mean, it's just.
All right, okay. But here's the deal. He's a very talented individual. He's got gang ties. There are 2 murders that he's convicted of.
Right, but those got overturned.
No, they did not. He's going to do life. He's added 2 more killings, and he's acquitted of those.
Okay.
Jose Baez, who is the attorney for the young lady down in Casey Anthony's attorney,
Okay.
who gets her off on some bogus shit where she's blaming her dad for her his granddaughter's. This guy's a sleazebag. Florida connection. Florida is the place where all serial killers go to die or become superstars.
Oh, yeah, okay, sure.
Their attorneys are the same way. Casey Anthony killed Kaylee Anthony. Baez gets him off, gets Aaron Hernandez convicted on 2 of the murder counts, gets him acquitted on 2 more, still claims that he's not going to be in prison much longer because he's still fighting the first 2 convictions. In the meantime, Aaron Hernandez's motive is to have the money that he has socked away go to his daughter and fiance, so he kills himself. I read earlier today, I don't know where the law is. I don't know. Somebody's going to have to help me out with this, but he has committed suicide. That means that his assets lie in state, that the individual, the Lamar family, who is the other victim that he was convicted of, can no longer sue him because he is now dead. So
they can still sue his estate.
not according to what I read earlier. That once he committed suicide from prison, that the family it kind of fucked me up too. I've got some more investigating to do.
Yeah, but there's not.
Anyway,
it's blood from a stone. There's nothing to get. He didn't get the money. His $15 million he's never getting. The guaranteed money from the Patriots?
well, yeah, that may be. But there was still a $1.3 million house, and there was still some assets that he had. Let's say it this way. I don't know what in the fuck I'm talking about.
This isn't news.
But I read it today. I kind of glossed over it. I had other things to do, and I just found it interesting. It's going to be a follow-up, especially about his gay lover. I want to know who this motherfucker is.
Sure, why not?
And our finishing story, do you know who Peoples Most beautiful woman in the world 2017
No,
is
who's that?
Julia Roberts.
Ooh.
I'm going to assume that in today's politically correct climate, that really a truly beautiful woman, let's say it this way, your achievements mean more than your beauty. If that's the case, let's call the woman the most influential woman. And I still don't know why Julia Roberts is at the top of the list.
Yeah, I don't.
Except that let's grow older, more mature. Let's give women across the board the most beautiful woman award. Now, the criteria now that I see in 2018, the People magazine most beautiful woman could actually be Lena Dunham.
Yeah.
Right? This is kind of it's kind of a misleading. I would want to see beautiful women, aesthetically pleasing women. I don't need to see Michelle Obama. She should not be on this list.
Yeah, I don't think she's very attractive.
I don't think that Susan Sarandon still is on this list. I need to hang her clock on the wall so that we can kind of do this.
I actually just bought a adapter where I can run a monitor. I can attach it to this.
That's really what's missing.
And I can run another monitor right here for you.
You know what would make this show so much better is that I not have to do it off memory.
Yeah, so we can
Honestly.
run. Yeah.
That would be.
So we can run notes for you right
We
there.
need a third person. We need. If anybody out there knows what the fuck they're doing, and they can give us advice as to what a real podcast is supposed to look like.
Right, 'cause
I
we're
think
just
we
winging
have the
this shit,
talent
folks.
to do this.
We're just winging it.
Yeah.
We are. I mean, I bought the equipment and I said, hey, we should do a podcast. It'll be
Right.
fun. We
And-
both like podcasts. Let's do podcasts. And so I
Right.
bought equipment and here we are.
Let's just stay up all night and not rest any.
Yeah.
And we'll just try to entertain 7 or 8 people. But I mean, that would really we need an assistant somehow, somebody who
help.
can type faster than I can think.
Right.
And
So
that's gonna
somebody
be
with
hard.
one finger on each hand would probably get that
I'll
job
tell
done.
you what, I'm a hunting pecker myself. I can look it up, but if I start
Hunt your own
looking
pecker
up
on your
shit,
own time.
if I start looking it up, then I will quit talking, and that's not how a podcast
Right,
works.
because this is the Puto show primarily.
Hey guys, give the Northeast Georgia Humane Society some help.
Yes, please.
The ASPCA of North Georgia, we've got some dirt bags up here. They're going to get what's coming to them. I have announced my candidacy, and I think I made some friends this week that I actually dropped off this show to them, and I did get one piece of feedback today that was kind of like, hey, I understand where your head's at, but you're going to have to clean it up a little bit. And
yeah.
you know what I told him?
Fuck that shit.
Go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Hey, dude.
Kiss my fucking ass.
Hey.
All right, guys, we are way, way, way over.
I had
We
to get-
appreciate you tuning in and sticking out with
I'm
us.
shocked you're still awake.
And I'm good for the moment. We'll see how the hour drive home is.
I got
SinceTrump.Libsyn.com, Twitter @RealSinceTrump, Facebook.com/SinceTrump. We are everywhere to serve you. PutoNG@gmail.com. Please, somebody send this man a fucking email. Guys, we'll see you next week. Thank you very much.
We love you.